Don't just ride the index, seek to outperform it with Fidelity Active ETFs. Learn more at fidelity.com/active ETFs. Before investing in any exchange-traded fund, you should consider its investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Contact Fidelity for a prospectus, an offering circular, or if available, a summary prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. While active ETFs offer the potential to outperform an index, these products may more significantly trail an index as compared with passive ETFs. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Welcome.
All right, we talked about the Super Bowl, man. Talk to me about the GameSquare Super Bowl ad that's going on, dude. People want to know about it.
Yeah, 100%. No, we've got a really cool sort of ad campaign coming out around the Super Bowl in the official program with the one and only Ty Ninja Blevins.
Come on,
But yeah, no, it's cool. It's to kind of celebrate the transaction that we announced recently that we will be closing here very soon, which is acquiring FaZe Clan.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, I'm kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, kangaroos and wallabies, get ready to level up your day because we have a legendary guest joining us today. He's not just a C-suite executive. He's the mastermind behind one of the most explosive gaming and esports companies out there. I'm talking about Australia's thunder from down under, none other than Justin Kenna, CEO of GameSquare Esports. From Melbourne to Los Angeles, Justin has conquered it all. He's been the brains behind FaZe Clan's meteoric rise, and now he's steering the ship at GameSquare Esports with Jerry Jones and John Goff backing him. He's taken GameSquare public and is steering it towards a $1 billion valuation. But that's not all. Justin's got more tricks up his sleeve than a surfing koala. He's bringing NFL players into the gaming world. This man doesn't just play the game, he changes it. Whether you're a gaming guru or just gaming curious, you're in for a treat. We'll dive deep into Justin's journey, talk about esports, corporate partnerships, and everything in between. So without further ado, please welcome Justin Kenna to the show. Justin, welcome, dude.
That's one hell of an intro, Ty.
I appreciate it. You know, dude, I got a guy. He's pretty good at writing these things up. So
That's a pretty good accent.
Oh, appreciate it, mate. Yeah, mate.
You need to get the huskiness going, though.
Nah, I can't. That's all you, bro. I think you handle the huskiness for the both of us. I think we can both agree on that. All right, man. Thanks for being here, bro. Thank you for taking the time out of your more than likely incredibly busy schedule to shoot the shit for the next hour with me, man. But how am I, dude? You asked earlier, how am I? You're surprised I'm in this good of a headspace as I am. How do you define success, right? In a world of sports, right? In a world of an organization, in a world of that, what defines success? I think, I don't know if this was Giannis or this was one of the NBA players that talked about this. I think it was Giannis, like last year or 2 years ago when they didn't win when they didn't win it all in the NBA Finals. One of the guys was like, would you consider this season a failure? And then he talks about, just because you didn't win it all doesn't mean that, it wasn't a successful season. Now the Lions, a couple of years ago, dude, it felt like we were the 0-16 team that didn't know how to play disciplined, right? That was just always getting the shit end of the stick, that didn't know how to close out games, right? That was struggling, on who we were drafting. And now look at us, dude. We're like the second youngest NFL team in the NFL, right behind the we're behind the Green Bay Packers. They're the youngest. Every single one of our rookies that we drafted was an absolute all-star. 4 of our incredible starting rookies, absolutely dominant.
Good draft class.
Amazing draft. Everyone made fun of us during the draft, right? Everyone was talking about, we don't know what we're doing. Oh, we the best online draft ever, or I think is what people, some of the reporters were saying. Like, we didn't know what we were doing. We were just drafting, off of internet hype, etc. We have 4 concrete rookies, and our team is looking incredible. We won the division. We went with 12-5, finished 12-5 in the season. Won our first home game, playoff home game. Hosted our first playoff home game, at Ford Field.
Yeah, but you should be in the Super Bowl.
We should be in the Super Bowl.
That's a problem, right?
But hear me out, though. Hear me out, man. Again, what did we do? Like, we didn't change anything that got us there. which was the creativity in our plays and the the balls of steel that is Dan Campbell going forward on fourth downs, etc.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff to clean up, man.
There was some unlucky stuff as well. I mean, the Ayuk play was wild.
Wild.
And I mean, I had money on the Niners. I lost a bit of money on the Ravens earlier in the day. So I will say I was pretty nervous. Like, I think you should have won. In terms of having balls and continuing to play the way you've played all year, I'm totally with you. Like, he's been going for it on fourth down. But there were a couple of things that were, like, pretty weird to me. I think on the final drive, you shouldn't be running the ball at all. And taking that timeout, you'd rather take the field goal, have 3 timeouts, than have 2 timeouts and go, like, the onside kicks just, like...
dude. I'm a firm believer, Justin, by the way, that there are 2 things that kickers should be focusing on.
Kicking?
It is kicking and being automatic from within 45 yards and literally onside kicks. I'm not joking. Imagine if these kickers were spending 3 to 4 hours practicing the perfect bounce.
What are they doing? Playing Fortnite?
Playing Fortnite. They're playing foosball, allegedly playing foosball in the rec room. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like that ball, it just looks like it would be consistent. Like you can't tell me that you take that ball and you put it in that holder and you sit there and you kick this ball 3 hours, 4 hours a day, an onside kick, right? And you're prepping this onside kick that you can't be the most consistent onside kicker in the world to give your guys a chance. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just sitting here. I'm a guy, just sitting here, dude, just wishing and
just ready to kick. Ready to
get me in there, dude.
Justin,
in another life, bro, I'm an NFL kicker. I'll tell you that right now, dude. In another life, I'm 100%.
I could see it. I
had a leg on me, bro. I played soccer for 18 years.
What are you going to do for Super Bowl? Are you going or are you?
So we were, dude, let me tell you the highs and lows of right now, okay? I'm not, in a 5-minute span, I went from, so we were up 17 and a half. Going into the second half, the
Booking
Niners.
Your tickets?
No. Hear me out. Going into the second half, once we stopped the Niners because they had the ball first. Once we stopped them, and like from scoring a TD and making them kick a field goal instead, I literally looked at Jess and everyone in the room and I was like, Jess, text Andre immediately. Let's get Super Bowl tickets. Like, let's figure this out. We got to figure out how we're going to get there. Because I was like, we just stopped them coming out. You know what I mean? Coming out of halftime adjustments. We held them to a field goal. Our offense was unstoppable. This is going to be free. Here we go. And then fumble, right? I think it was either 3 and out or Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled the ball up the middle. And that was it. I'm like, we weren't going to Vegas or the Super Bowl if the Lions weren't in.
You jinxed them.
I guess.
It's now, I mean, the Taylor Swift Bowl, it's the most expensive ticket in Super Bowl history. I'm going to Vegas. We got a bunch of work stuff on. I hate that I don't care about the game at all.
Yeah, at all.
Like I would have, if Baltimore made it, like we do a fair bit of work with Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie's awesome. I would have loved to just supported him and watched him. I don't care at all. I would have definitely supported the Lions.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
I don't like the 49ers. They beat the Cowboys every year. The whole Kittle, like, fuck Dallas thing. And, like, the Chiefs, I mean, I used to love the Chiefs, but how can you like the Chiefs?
I still love the Chiefs, brother. Travis Kelce's a great human. Jason Kelce, I love their brother relationship. Yeah. I love their podcast. I love Patrick Mahomes as an athlete.
I love Patrick Mahomes.
No, right. So let's get, dude. So here's my bold statement that I want to just shout at the top of the rooftops, man. Get over the Taylor Swift thing. This is everyone, right? How on God's green earth does the NFL get any bigger? Think about it, right? It's not by word of mouth from men to other men, right? It's not by, like, there's no way that women are just going to start enjoying football. Okay, they can't advertise elsewhere. Like, everyone who knows about football within the United States. So how are they going to grow? Dude, Taylor Swift getting involved, and then not only getting involved, but dating somebody on the Chiefs, one of the best teams in the NFL. Come on, bro. You couldn't set up a better script. So just, like,
yeah,
it's only going to be good for the game. Who's pumped for Super Bowl 58? I know I am. And guess what? DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with an offer that is sure to get you fired up. New customers, you can bet on the big game and turn just $5 into a whopping 200 instantly in bonus bets. But remember, no betting advice here, just the best deals in town. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use my code NINJA. That's right, code NINJA for this exclusive offer. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code NINJA. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. All right, we talked about the Super Bowl, man. Talk to me about the GameSquare Super Bowl ad that's going on, dude. People want to know about it. Tell me all that you can.
Yeah, 100%. No, we've got a really cool sort of ad campaign coming out around the Super Bowl in the official program with the one and only Ty Ninja Blevins.
Come on,
but yeah, no, it's cool. It's to kind of celebrate the transaction that we announced recently that we will be closing here very soon, which is acquiring FaZe Clan, which, you know, I'm sure many of your listeners know who FaZe Clan is, but for those who don't, FaZe Clan is the largest sort of gaming lifestyle brand in the world by audience by a long, long way. And so we're very excited to get that deal done and sort of for the path forward here. But no, it's a really cool ad campaign we've got going on around own the future of sport. I think it was actually a really fun day that we got to do that shoot with Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones at the office after we announced you joining as Chief Innovation Officer. Ty got you in the chopper there with Jerry. But
that was sick, dude.
That was actually a pretty fun day. And I think people see only little snippets of Jerry, but that, you know, he's such a character, right? Like for everybody at home, we were doing a photo shoot for Ty announcing him joining GameSquare, and you know, Jerry was really generous in offering up his helicopter to go pick up Ty from the airport. And it was a crazy sort of weather day. And so when Ty landed, I picked him up in the car. We decided not to get in the chopper, which I think was probably the right move at that point in time. And went in to visit Jerry, and Jerry was kind of giving you a bit of stick for not getting in the chopper. So we did end up getting in it on the way back. But I just thought it was so funny that we're like all in there doing this photo shoot. And Jerry, who's 80 years old, 81 now, I think, you know, was like, this is boring. This is too corporate. You know, he's running into the other office. He's getting like helmets, putting them on your head.
Yeah, dude.
He's running plays with the football. It's like, he's such a showman. It was really cool.
No, dude, being in there, we're in the room and he's just literally, I could just see his eyes just gravitating towards all the shit in his room that he has, all the memorabilia from his time, you know, as the Cowboys owner, and him just being like, you know, Tyler, let me tell you this story about this. You know what this is? And he's like, those are actual Troy Aikman's hands. I was like, you know, he was just so excited to explain everything that was going on. I mean, the guy, you know, he lives and breathes football, and you can tell the passion.
He's awesome, and I think like the family in general is awesome, and to have them obviously backing what we're doing is super important and really cool. When you for those that have ever gone out and seen the headquarters in Frisco, Texas, I mean, they are everything you'd expect and more, right? I think to grow a sporting organization to be the most valuable sporting organization in the world,
right? From
a family-owned business. There's only two in the NFL, them and the Ursays with the Colts, but it's a domestic sport, right? Like that's, to me, is crazy. They're the most valuable sporting team in the world, more than, you know, any soccer or football, have you want to call it. Like, really cool. So to have their sport's awesome. But yeah, the campaign we got going on is with yourself, myself, Steven, and Jerry. Really cool. It's going to be in the official Super Bowl program. There's a QR code on there. Really, the sort of purpose around it is to start to get some eyeballs on what we're doing, which I think is super exciting. We're obviously publicly traded, so people are able to kind of scan the QR code and get taken to our investor relations page just to find out a bit more about the company, what we're doing. Obviously can have the ability to purchase stock if they're interested and things like that. But yeah, really cool. Just trying to get some more eyeballs on what we're doing. I think, the crossover into traditional sport is huge. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a really natural sort of market and audience for us. Obviously, if you're flicking through it and you're not up to speed on the gaming space as much at the Super Bowl and you kind of catch Jerry Jones's eye, I think that's a pretty good way to start to get people to be interested. So, yeah, it's super cool. I'm excited for people to see it. I think it's we're going to be sort of doing a bit of a social campaign around it as well. So
yeah, no, happy to be a part of that too, by the way. I'm really excited. And anything with the QR code, in my opinion, is genius. Like, it's so simple. You just know that any camera, any phone, whatever, scan it, boom, it takes you right to where you want to go. I think it's a brilliant marketing idea. So no, I think it's going to be sick, man. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I agree, and because we're all so lazy, aren't we? Like you're like,
yeah,
go check out GameSquare. People are like, I'm not going to do GameSquare.com. Like,
right, and then it's like, or just like you already have your phone out, click one button and just hover over, and then touch the screen.
100%.
Super easy, great marketing, love it. Looking forward to seeing it, man. I'm sure everyone else will. Guys, look for the Super Bowl GameSquare ad during the Super Bowl. The commercials are the best part. Well, I think they will be the best part because all right, dude, Justin, let's just get just a smidge a little bit more into GameSquare before we move on to anything else, man. Why don't you share with the audience, share with the listeners out there, what is your involvement in GameSquare? Like, what do you do?
Yeah. So it's funny. I obviously spoke about the acquisition of FaZe Clan, which it's a bit of a full circle moment for me personally. I was the CFO of FaZe Clan. Getting old. It was like roughly 7-8 years ago. Now I was there for sort of a bit over 3 years, like well before FaZe went public and all of that stuff. But it was cool, right? It was very eye-opening, very early days in terms of like this big boom in the gaming industry in terms of these orgs and agencies going out and raising money. And we were one of the first really, to hit Wall Street and raise money for a gaming org. And really cool, interesting experience in general. I think that people, unless you were kind of a publisher or a platform, so no one had really made money in that space, and that was really interesting. So FaZe was kind of my entry point into gaming, and helped really grow that in terms of getting capital, but also closing really big commercial deals, working with athletes, and FaZe, as you would have seen, Ty, was really kind of at that sort of intersection of pop culture, I guess, and really the first org to bring in like streetwear merch collabs and really large kind of commercial brand deals. So that was a really cool experience. I left there to effectively start my own thing. GameSquare was a small agency in the UK at the time called Code Red, who's still a part of our group, doing around 3 million in annual revenue. We've grown that to around 70 million in annual revenue. This is sort of the start of year 4. So huge growth over that time. And really the vision was, I saw how big the audience was and all of this sort of exciting, cool opportunities through FaZe. But in a lot of ways, I was kind of building an anti-FaZe, which is funny, right? Because I saw all of the areas that they were outsourcing that were really high margin and how you could actually build a business in this space. And so my kind of strategy was, how do we build like a next generation media company? There's all these eyeballs within the gaming space, whether it is the competitive landscape with pure sort of esports, whether it's more in the streaming space, creator economy, YouTube, all these different platforms. There's just this huge audience that's consuming different games on different platforms in different ways. How can we help brands navigate that landscape and really directly and authentically connect with that audience? So that was really the purpose. GameSquare today is sort of an end-to-end media platform. We have sort of the gaming esports brand being Complexity, based out of Frisco, Texas. We touched on that with the link to the Cowboys. We have media and agency businesses. We have a content studio, a merch and consumer product business. And then I think our secret sauce is we have data and analytics platforms. So Stream Hatchet, which just came out with their sort of trend reporting, is really sort of the de facto market leader when it comes to data and trends in the space, which is super important for brands and just understanding like what creators are trending, what games are trending, where the consumers are trending, right? So to have that in-house is a huge competitive advantage. So we're growing. We're super excited. There's definitely been sort of some interesting times, I'd say, over the past 12, 18 months in the space in general. People talk about esports winters and layoffs and doom and gloom. And, it sucks. But I think that part of that is sort of the natural evolution of a growing industry, right? And you see consolidation and you see business models pivoting. I don't think it's if you look at all the data, like the audience sizes are growing, right? Which is awesome not just, when it comes to viewership on these big platforms through big creators like yourself, but also within the esports ecosystem, they're growing as well. But these business models are, they're new businesses, and people who approach this space like traditional sports, it's not the right way to view it. It's very different. And we are seeing sort of consolidation and evolution, which I think is natural. And I think we're going to see some big winners out of this space in the coming years, and a lot more positive sentiment and news and investors starting to get some return on their money. So we very much want to be a leader in that space. I think we're making really good headway in doing that. So yeah, I'm super excited. We've got the FaZe deal coming up. I think for those who don't know, the way I think about it from a traditional sporting sort of analogy, FaZe are the New York Yankees or the Dallas Cowboys of the gaming space. And I think with sort of the business nous and the infrastructure from sort of data, media, and tech that we've built at GameSquare to plug into a brand like FaZe, I think the future is really, really bright.
I think that FaZe, like the way that FaZe went about their business, and they kind of went to like, I don't even know what the word is, bro. Like Wall Street, they completely went away when they sold it. They went away to, what everything that they didn't represent. And I feel like, I'm happy that honestly that it's back at work. Essentially, we purchased it, it's ours, or, it's about to be, etc. Fully. And, they can just kind of get back to what they were doing, which is, you're absolutely right. I don't think there was a single organization that truly had like the actual, it was cool. It was cool. It was literally cool. Like if you were a fan of Cloud9, if you were a fan of Liquid, or, any of the like OG, organizations like that, it's like, okay, cool. Right. Like, cool. That's a cool team. But like, if you were like the FaZe Clan, like that, like legitimately, it was almost kind of like when Drake, played Fortnite, in the sense of like making gaming cool. Like FaZe was like, it was cool to be part of FaZe Clan. It was cool to enjoy FaZe. And I think that I'm excited for that to, basically come back. I feel like it already kind of is. So
yeah, I think it was a tough situation, right? That you mentioned. You're right. Like hindsight's it's an interesting thing, because I think that FaZe they went public too early, and probably given the brand and what it is to the fan base, going public as FaZe is very difficult, because to your point, there were then decisions that had to be made that may not have been organic to what that brand and the fan base would expect. Obviously, there was a pretty sort of public falling out with the founders, and I think
that definitely didn't help.
That was really key to me. Was I have a relationship with the guys, and what was key to me was I wasn't going to do this transaction without them, and kind of returning the brand to them and their vision. I mean, working really closely with Banks on a lot of this, and he's been awesome. I mean, I think when you think about the FaZe brand, you think about Banks. I think he represents
absolutely
like what that brand is. And so, with him and Apex and Tommy, we've been working, really closely, and kind of how are we kind of invisible, right, in the background, but helping set up the right infrastructure where we can execute their vision and bring that to life. Because I think that gets lost as well, right? Like FaZe became this huge brand with this enormous engaged audience. And then if you look at it, that sort of engagement deteriorating, it's sort of, it's no kind of coincidence that the founders had sort of stepped away. And I think with them back involved and a new strategy in terms of new, fresh talent coming in, a really clear vision when it comes to kind of content and talent, and really Banks and Tommy and Apex driving that. Like, I feel really excited to kind of be, behind the scenes and just helping those guys with the GameSquare infrastructure, with what we've built. And you've obviously been able to see a lot of that, Ty, that we can kind of, return FaZe to back to where it belongs.
Looking forward to that, dude. Justin, I don't think we've talked about this too much. How much do you game? Like, didn't you play like Counter-Strike, if I recall? Like, weren't you a CS gamer?
No, not really. I love Counter-Strike though. It's funny. I grew up in a small country town in Australia called Echuca, very like a big sporting town. I think if you think about it in comparison, it's kind of like, outskirts of Dallas, Texas, Friday Night Lights football type town, like very, very like a lot of professional Australian footballers came from Echuca, and a very very sports heavy town. It was funny. So growing up, we had like Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers, and I remember my dad like literally used to just clip me over the head and be like, go outside and go play or go fishing or go play sport or whatever. And it was funny. Like I used to love playing games when I was younger, but my sister used to beat me at everything. And I was like such a psycho, like so unhealthily competitive, which many close to me would still say that that's very much the case today, especially my wife. But yeah, I was so competitive. My sister used to destroy me at everything. So I didn't have much of a relationship with gaming sort of through high school and like uni, we call it in Australia, you would call it college. A lot of my friends did. It's interesting though, my love of the space and respect and understanding over the past 8 to 10 years has just gone through the roof. I love watching Counter-Strike. Like Counter-Strike to me is the best esport in the world.
I might have to agree with you there. Yeah.
I consume a lot of it. I've got a crazy amount of respect for the competitive part, but also the personalities. I mean, I think the evolution of space has been super cool. But yeah, me personally, I'm terrible. But yeah, I'm not much of a gamer personally.
Damn, dude. But that's interesting, man. I feel like we kind of have, honestly, the parents kind of like the same parents in that aspect. Like
you just didn't listen.
No, I didn't listen, but I did, but I just had to like earn it in other ways, right? Like by going outside. Like for me, it was like going outside. I had to literally go out to earn more game time. Like,
yeah, that's so funny.
And yeah, that was very, I would do that, right? So I'd do all my homework when I got home. I'd play for a couple of hours, and then my mom would be like, all right, your time's up. And then I'm like, go to play outside for 2 hours. Man, I could come back in and play for another 2 hours. So, I mean, I was outside all the time.
It's funny. My wife plays. What
is she playing?
Kenzie plays Call of Duty. She plays.
Oh, shit. I think she's gaming.
I think she used to play Counter-Strike. Yeah, I mean, the plan was like we were going to start gaming a lot. And then, I mean, this job is a job times 20. So I don't have the time. I wish I did. So
no, yeah.
But yeah, I started to play. We started to play like FIFA and Madden and stuff. But again, like I'm not very good. She kicked my ass. I'm like,
Oof. Yeah, hey, bro, you're just constantly getting shit on by all the women in your life, bro. In gaming, that's an actual tragedy, man. Yeah, no, dude, I'm telling you, I lose my mind when Jess beats me at like Mario Party, bro. Which, by the way, I think is a game that takes, it's all luck, right? You can steal stars, and there's unlucky stars where if you like travel the least amount of spaces, you can get a bonus star at the end. Yeah, no way, dude. It's bad, bro. If I ever lost them, dude, you don't understand, man. Like, I don't even know what I would do. Like if I played against my nephews, like Caleb and Zach, and they beat me somehow in some magical way, I'd throw them outside through the first story window and lock the door. Like that's, especially if they like talk trash, because they know that Uncle Tyler is Ninja, but they don't know who Ninja is. If that makes sense. That's kind of, my brother's done like a really perfect job kind of shielding them from like who I am.
100%.
And also same thing with Jess, bro. Jess, we're both very competitive, and if she ever beat me consistently, oh man, I don't know if I have the ego to swallow that, dude.
Totally. I couldn't agree more. It's funny, yeah. I mean, I would say like 95% of our staff are like hardcore gamers. But yeah, I think it's like at the senior level, I think it's a healthy mix to you definitely have to have a love and appreciation of the space.
Absolutely.
But in some ways, not being so hardcore can be beneficial. So you can look at ways from a business perspective of maybe being a bit more creative, how you can set things up. You don't have your blinkers on. You don't have biases as much. So yeah, it's interesting.
That's a really good way of putting that. I like that too. But there's something about that where like everyone understands the space. It's all about understanding the space. I don't even care if you game, right? I guess like if you like, let's say you work for GameSquare, you work at League of Legends, you work for a gaming company. I don't care if you like you're a diehard gamer, but understanding the space, I think is all that's really important. And there's something special about that, like being around people that all get it, right? Like
100%.
That's like a great feeling to just hang out with a group of people, or you're even in a meeting in a room with a group of people that like understand the assignment as like a team. And that's just I'm not always in those rooms, but when I am, I love it.
Yeah, it's about an appreciation, I think, and about education. Like I had to educate myself. You have to have an appreciation and understanding, or else how can I educate investors or brands or others of the opportunity that we're creating if I don't fully understand it myself? It's funny because to the point that we're talking to, I was talking to the head of brand at the Cowboys, and we're just chatting about stuff. And he was sort of making a joke about it, but he was talking about how people would always like come up to him and pitch him on like working at the Cowboys. They're like, "Oh, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan." He's like, that's not necessarily what we're looking for, right? Like,
right.
You don't just want 100 people in the room that are like diehard fans and yes men, and you want to kind of be able to see things from a different angle and kind of challenge the status quo. I guess probably the best way to think about it.
I agree. I love that. Let's get a little bit more personal, Justin. I feel like you and I, we've talked about, GameSquare, we've talked about business, we talked about sports, which kind of is, in a way business as well for us. Let's get a little personal, dude. All right.
Let's do it.
You're a golfer.
Wow.
Right? Word of the block is you're a bit of a golfer. This is basically turning into a golfing podcast because almost 90% of the people that come on here, we have a little mini golf segment.
So I am much more of a tennis player than I am golf.
Oh.
Yeah, I played like quite competitive high-level tennis in Australia growing up. I still play casually. I enjoy playing now. I didn't used to love playing, so I would literally be playing like before school, after school, traveling to tournaments.
Right, it was work, right?
Yeah. And I enjoy it now because it's like something you can pick up, and as you get a little older, like to be good socially at sports like that is great. And I bring that up because it's the opposite of golf. I have a couple of buddies who played golf when they were younger, and they're pretty good, but I could beat them at any other sport, and like it really pisses me off because I didn't play golf when I was a kid. But I love hitting balls. I don't have enough time to go play rounds enough. I was playing a little bit more when I was in Dallas. I'm in LA at the moment on sort of getting this FaZe deal set up. I think once I'm back, hopefully we got these deals all closed, back to Dallas, I'll start like getting some more rounds in. I love going and hitting some balls. Like go to the driving range. If I've got a 30, 40 minute break, or even put your AirPods in, podcast on, or do a call and just like hit some balls. But when I get back, I got some new clubs. I'm gonna start getting lessons.
Oh hell yeah, bro!
And next time I'm in Florida, let's get around it.
100%. We got plenty of places to choose from. I'm sure you'll be here soon. Dude, I'm literally right now, the best I ever golfed was a 98. The best I've ever felt like I golfed was when I golfed a 105, which is funny. I think I just felt like my shots were cleaner. They were going straighter. I don't know what it is, but I'm like plus or minus 5, like from 100, which is, and it feels like my shots are getting more consistent. So
did you do lessons, or are you? Tim
No, I haven't, bro. It's all TikTok. And just and like getting out there and hitting the range a lot, and just kind of getting a feel for. I should get lessons, honestly. At the end of the day, I know I need to. I can't freaking pull the trigger. It's like, would I rather go out and hit 18 real quick? Because I know that they're not busy. Because I text some people or do I want to take the time to schedule a lesson and things like that? I don't know. I have so much scheduling going on right now, dude. The last thing I want to do is schedule more shit. Yeah,
I feel you on that. Are you three like still getting out a lot, like midweek getting rounds in?
I am. Dennis is to be like, really personal in terms of like what's going on in our little inner circle. Tim pulled his back a little bit when he was at the gym about like a week and a half ago, and he hasn't even thought about golfing since. So, he hasn't gotten out in like 2 weeks, and then Dennis hasn't gotten out in like a month because he's just in full fucking gremlin mode. The dude is going to bed at like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night.
He's just streaming.
And he's literally streaming all day. So he'll go to bed at 6 or 7 at night. He'll wake up at 3 a.m. and he'll start streaming at like 4 or 5 a.m. And then he streams until like 4 o'clock. and then he'll like keep gaming until the middle of the night, pretty much pass out. And because we're doing dry January, right? So
nice.
Yeah, so we're, one day left, day and a half left. I'm talking to him in stream today. Because I'm in a stream every morning. I'm up at 7 a.m., 6 a.m.
Dennis is doing dry January?
Dennis is doing dry January, yes.
Is someone like breath testing him? Is that?
No. Well, him and Tim both cracked during that Packers-Dallas game. During the Packers,
fair enough. I'll give him that one.
But no, other than that day, they haven't drank, from what I know. I believe Dennis hasn't, truly, unless he's drinking by himself at home, because all the friends that he usually goes out with and the people that are around us, like, they're not texting us. They usually, there's like the night after or the morning after, people will kind of text about some crazy shit that happened. Like, we're not getting any of those texts. And he literally has been streaming every single day this month. It's crazy. So
what's happened to Dude and Meatballs? Have you put our local bar out of business?
They're killing it, man. They redid the inside, and so it's like full blown bar inside, right? With like, it looks like all the college sports and the stools and all the flags.
Could be the greatest bar in the world. Shout out Dude and Meatballs.
They're killing it. They're killing it. Even though it's not going there consistently, it's the first thing people see, and they've upgraded it so much now that it's got such a good rep now. And again, the food's great, like quality food and great service. So it goes a long way. But no, they're killing it, even with us not being there every day.
That's awesome. I find it hard to believe Dennis isn't drinking on his own.
Dude, believe it or not, I mean, you have to. Like, there's just no way. I can tell you this right now. If Dennis was drinking, like, let's say he was drinking behind closed doors, like, he would not be he would not be live when he would be live. You know what I mean? He's been streaming consistently. Like, it's crazy. Unfortunately, I haven't hung out with him in a month.
Gremlin's such a good description for
it is, dude. It is. He's a gremlin right now, bro. I haven't seen the guy since the Dallas game.
I'm sad you guys aren't coming to Vegas. That would have been fun.
It would have been fun, bro.
You're going to be drinking? So are you guys all getting together?
I'm not. I'm thinking about taking this. We are. Alexis already bought out an area of a bar for the bowl game and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I feel incredible. I'm like the most clear-headed and like focused that I've ever been. A lot of my anxiety is gone. Like I used to have crippling anxiety.
Like the day after, like when you're hungover, or just be?
No, just like, so like normally for stuff like this, I have like, but even if it's you, right? Like I know you, we have a relationship. Like, this is like a lot of podcasts for me. It is like my first time meeting these people, like a lot of the time. And it's,
you've got to be on.
I got to be on, but I'm like, dude, I'm nervous. I just get really, really, really nervous. And I get on, and just to put it lightly, like I get fucking anxiety. I get really anxious. And like, I haven't really felt that like at all since.
You've been like clear headed. You got energy.
Mm-hmm. Energy. I'm feeling good. I feel great. I feel focused. Like it's nothing. I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah. I've cut back as well. We've been doing for Jan, not dry Jan, but one day a week you're allowed to drink, but like wine, like have a few, like we just had a little baby girl, Alia, which is super exciting. And
congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much. We are living sort of for the next few months in LA near Kenzie's mum. And so Kenzie's mum will take Alia one night a week, and we'll go out and have dinner and have a few glasses of wine and a couple of drinks. But like, I had some buddies come over like last Sunday for the football, and they're all drinking beers and carrying on. And normally I'd be, all about
right there with them, dude.
Just having a cup of tea and, waking up on Monday fresh. But you're right. You really do start to feel the benefit of it. I'll definitely be tipping a few in Super Bowl weekend in Vegas. I think that's going to be like my.
It's going to be tough to not, right?
My blowout sort of weekend of the month. Yeah.
And hey, you know what? And why not, bro?
That's right.
It's a great time, dude. I don't know how well, I probably will at the end of the day. Who knows, man? I'd like to be strong and not, but at the end of the day, dude, you're here, Dennis and freaking Cloaks. You're going to be whispering sweet nothings into my ear. It's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah. And you guys have had a bit of a break. So, it'll be a little reunion of sorts.
100%. Dude, so you just kind of touched on, we can touch on this a little bit more and then move on to the final segment, this or that, dude. But you just had your first baby, man. How do you feel? How much sleep are you getting?
So not much, but I don't get much sleep anyway. Right? I've been building this business for the last 4 years and working around the clock, so that's got me somewhat qualified.
True.
You obviously met Kenzie. My wife is a superstar. So, I mean, she's doing the heavy lifting. So I'm not going to act like that's not the case. She's a rock star.
Andy's humble. Andy's humble, guys. Wow.
But Alia is like, she's so cool. Just like, honestly, coming home to her and she's so smiley and fun and like, yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's definitely been, a learning curve. You just figure it out, I guess. But it's been super cool. Spending weekends with them is really fun. Like during the week, I'm really busy and you get home and you change a nappy and you have cuddle time and whatever. But like just, waking up Saturday and kind of taking her to the park, go for a walk, just doing sort of family shit's pretty cool. So very exciting, challenging at the same time, right? With work and everything going on, but like people have it worse, you just figure it out. So yeah, it's been really cool. When are you and Jess popping them out?
Dude. So we've never been more open to that than
I love it
than now. Like lately, the last couple of months. So right now we're just trying to get like our like bodies in order, trying to be healthy. That was another reason for dry January. Like apparently there's like a lot of research and studies that like when you conceive and things like that, like your body and your state of your healthiness, if you will, is like a huge factor as well. So, we're just trying to clean up house.
That's awesome.
Yeah. During all that stuff. So
it's such a crazy process. Like I know so many people have gone through it and you obviously have nephews. I got nieces and nephews and it's like, so and you're aware and it's such a normal thing. But like when it's you and your partner, like for the first time, it's just such a crazy experience. Like what your partner goes through and, just seeing this baby grow inside them and then you're like, it's kicking and then you have this child that comes out that you then take care of every day. And it really obviously changed your life in a lot of different ways and ultimately, for the better, obviously. But the whole process, dude, I mean, it is fucking insane.
You had that moment where the baby was home and you're just like, what do we do now? Like, you know what I mean? Like the trip home from the hospital, right? Where you're finally home and you're just like, well...
100%. Like Kenzie laughs because she's like, you're so rough when I like change her nappy and shit. And like, cause I just walk around and like, I have fun with her and like, but Kenzie keeps a close eye on me, It's like, she's like, she's parenting us both through the whole thing. It was crazy. Like she did so much research and she's like, we've got to do this class and that class and this. And I was kind of like, I've changed nappies before. And, I was much more like, I want to figure it out. But there's so many things that like she was on top of. So that was very helpful. But 100%, I mean, 100%. But it's been so cool.
Congratulations, man. Again.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the final segment of the podcast. We go through these with all of our guests, man. We're going to be going on with this or that. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Detroit Lions or Dallas Cowboys?
Dallas Cowboys.
Dude, that's rigged. That's a rigged answer. NFL or AFL?
Oh, that is hard.
Come on now, dude.
AFL?
Australian Football League. Interesting.
I mean, to play, but I honestly, NFL is probably my number one sport now. That's a really tough one.
Yeah. All right. Barbecue or Barbie? I think this is
barbecue.
All right. Yeah. I'm assuming that was because you had a daughter.
Oh, no, I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's the Aussie slang saying, do I call it barbecue or Barbie?
Wait a minute. Yeah, my bad. Barbecue or Barbie? Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so if you were going, like if I was talking about the food, I would say barbecue. But if I was going to meet friends to barbecue, I'd say I'm going to a Barbie.
Ah, dude, all right. I think that's a freaking perfect answer.
Thank you.
Australia's, is it Macca's or American McDonald's?
Macca's 100%. Food in Australia is just generally better than here, and that's why everybody here is obese.
Oh, you said food in Australia is?
Way better. Like produce is fresher. Like, dude, if you just compare like a Gatorade or like a chocolate bar, the same shit, like a Snickers in Australia, Snickers in the US, Gatorade in Australia, Gatorade in the US, the sugar content in Australia is so far less. It tastes better. Half the shit in the US is illegal in Australia. You can't have that level of sugar content in food and drink because we don't want people to die.
Sick, dude. I love that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, dude. It makes sense. Melbourne or Sydney?
Melbourne.
Driving on the left side or the right side of the road?
I think the right side.
Does it ever confuse you, or are you not even, like, it's not even an issue anymore?
It doesn't confuse me, but when I land back in Australia, you start driving, you've got to think about it a little bit more. Like your left-hand turn is a right-hand turn and so on and so forth. So you have to think about it a little bit. But I think driving in the US is probably easier.
Moving on to the other questions. So now this is that, but just other questions, dude. Who's winning the Super Bowl, dude? This is not betting advice, but who do you think is going to take it?
Honestly, I think it's very hard to bet against Pat Mahomes, so I'm not going to do that. But gun to head, I think Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers.
Interesting. I think it's going to be the Chiefs. We'll see, dude. Is Foster's a real Australian beer?
Allegedly. It's like an import beer. Like they use it on all the ads. It's sold heavily in London. It's positioned as an Australian beer. It tastes like shit. If you're in Australia and you're at a pub, you're probably not going to be able to find Foster's. Like Carlton Draft, Victoria Bitter. Australian beers are awesome. Foster's is fucking terrible.
Noted. All right. Is Vegemite good?
Yeah, unbelievable. Vegemite, like to wake up, like toast, bit of butter, bit of Vegemite, unbelievable. But if you don't wake up with it, if you don't grow up with it, people don't like it. Like my wife, friends, anyone you get to try as an adult, they don't like it.
Okay. Where's your go-to vacation spot?
Probably Australia, which just, to go home and see family and hang out. And Australia is awesome. I mean, my brother runs, anyone who's been there, most people go to Byron Bay. Byron Bay is kind of like, maybe like the Tulum of Mexico. It's a bit like hippie, yoga, cool kind of touristy vibe. But my brother runs this huge pub on the water in Byron Bay. Byron Bay in Australia is pretty sick. Otherwise, locally,
you're blowing up your spots, dude.
Maybe US, I think Jackson Hole's pretty sick.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that place out in Australia, man. I gotta visit one day with like a freaking bubble that I go in so I don't get eaten by any of the wildlife. Fun fact, just real quick, you do know that the most poisonous everything or the most venomous everything, it's all in Australia. You know
literally
that, right?
Everything. Yeah.
Literally. I'm not joking. Like the most venomous scorpion, the most
10
venomous
of the top 10 snakes.
Top 10 snakes, most venomous snake, most venomous spiders there, most venomous jellyfish is in your waters off your shore. It's crazy. And honestly, it's almost like, how is that even possible?
It's overplayed a little bit, right? Because
I've seen those huntsman spider videos, bro.
Yeah, but because Australia's landmass, right, is nearly as big as America. And, 90% of the country live within, whatever miles of the coast. Everybody's around the edge of Australia. Everybody's on the water. And the whole middle of the country is like this barren desert land, and that's where all these crazy fucking animals are. It's not like, and don't get me wrong, I grew up in the country, so you see some of that shit, but it's not like if you're living in the city, you're not fucking dealing with like crazy ass spiders and snakes every day.
So you think that
just
if I was in it, yeah, just every other day. Okay, that answered my question. I figured. All right. If you had to delete all but 3 applications from your phone, Justin, which ones would you keep?
That's a great question.
I
would definitely keep my DraftKings app.
Okay, love that.
Twitter and WhatsApp. Does WhatsApp count? You got to download WhatsApp.
Yeah. I'll allow it, dude.
That's for international communication. Shout out to my brethren in the homeland.
I like that, dude. So the podcast here is called AFK with Ninja. All gamers out there, anyone that was around in the AOL days understands what AFK means. It stands for away from keyboard, dude. But more philosophically, dude, define AFK in your own words, Justin. What do you do when you're AFK?
Yeah, good question. I think probably running. Like it's funny. A friend of mine, I did a meditation course about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was really good. I was trying to integrate it into my day to day. I haven't been able to like keep it up consistently. I think that the thing that I do consistently that keeps me sane and gets me away from like, those crazy days and doing my head in is really running. I try and run.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, but like a couple of miles a day, not quick, whatever. Some days further, some days less, but like that's what keeps me sane.
So just nature, getting out of the nature, dude, getting that fresh air and going on a nice jog.
Yeah, getting a bit of a sweat up, put a podcast on, just try to like zone out.
All right, dude. Justin, man, that's all we got for you, dude. I appreciate you coming on, taking the time to be here, dude, shooting the shit, talking GameSquare, football, and so much more, dude. And I'm sure I'll be seeing you real soon.
Thanks for having me, buddy. Appreciate it.
And there you have it, folks. We've reached the end of another epic AFK with Ninja episode. If you've enjoyed the journey thus far, please consider leaving a rating, review, and hitting that follow button. We have a ton of incredible guests coming your way, and I want you to be the first to know when a new episode drops. Until next time, catch you soon.
It's AFK with Ninja. Ninja's got a show. It's AFK.